The War No One Wanted. War of the Submarine, Book 2, by R.G. Roberts. Narrated by A.J. Shuck. Epilogue. Distinguished Gallantry and Valor. 24 March 2039. CSF Headquarters, Norfolk, Virginia. Did Captain McCoy get back to you? Freddie asked the next morning, nursing her second cup of tea between meetings. She had a senator next, and then it was on to the Bureau of Personnel, telling her how they were going to not be able to man the next 9 Ceros planned to commission next year. They were already behind on the 8 for 2039. When everyone talked about American industry or self-sufficiency before the war, they always assumed that manufacturing parts and building ships or submarines would be the bottleneck, not people. Funny you should ask, Maria laughed bitterly. She emailed me last night, much faster than I expected her to. Oh? A shiver ran down Freddie's spine. There's a warehouse in Pearl with 740 Mark 84 torpedoes inside. None have been sent to boats on patrol. Freddie threw her tablet at the wall, shattering the screen irreparably. Neither she nor Maria cared. Naval Base Perth, Australia. There were no bodies to bury. There never were. But there was always a memorial. Submariners always gathered out at Cliff Point, just outside the Navy base, to mourn their own. HMAS Sterling, or Perth Naval Station, was located on Garden Island, which was 77% nature preserve. That meant there were a lot of quiet places to meet. Alex stepped out of his Jeep and straightened his dress whites. George, riding with him, did the same, and they walked in silence to where the other senior submariners were gathered near the shore. Dozens joined him. Every captain and XO in port always came to every memorial. It wasn't required, but it was the right thing to do, and your peers would never forgive you if you skipped one. The wind whipped around them, almost knocking a few covers off. Despite that, Commodore Amanda Madison stood straight-backed and regal in her dress whites. One might have thought her at a parade, if not for her ashen-white face. She commanded Submarine Squadron 31, and was Alex's new boss. To her left stood Commodore Adele Karimi, commander of Submarine 27. But there was no sign of the 3rd Squadron commander based in Perth. And from what Alex had heard, Commodore Banks rarely attended the memorials. Even when his boats went down, like Skate had. We're here to mourn our brothers and sisters on eternal patrol, Madison said, her voice hoarse. In the last 2 months, we have lost Darter, Skate, Pacu, Florida, Gato, and Grunion. Only Skate and Grunion had any survivors. Together, these 5 boats represent 513 sailors lost to the deep. Everyone was silent. Alex swallowed, thinking of the hollowed-out eyes of Skate's survivors. Then a slight scuffing came from his right, and he snuck a glance over. Commander Wade Peterson from Bluefish was tracing impatient circles in the sand with one toe. Admiral Hamilton has decided to make Darter's video data recorder logs available to all officers in command, or in the command track for training purposes. Madison's glare swept the crowd. Needless to say, if these logs are released to the media or make rounds in the fleet for entertainment purposes, there will be consequences. Alex swallowed. Did he want to watch Darter die? He wasn't sure. Yet Kurt Kins had become a legend in his short time in command for taking the fight to the enemy every chance he had. There had to be something to learn from that. Is there a reason for releasing them? Commander Brenda Vicker from Narwhal asked. It seems macabre. No one's requiring you to view them, but I recommend it, Madison replied, her gray eyes steely. We all know that our approach in this war has not been ideal. Our weapons are inferior. We have lost many friends. And few captains have found a balance between recklessness and valor. Commander Kins demonstrated great courage on all his patrols, and we can all learn from his successes. And his failures, no one said. No one needed to. Alex wished John were here. John Dalton was the one man who seemed to have found that balance Commodore Madison spoke of, but he was underway again. "I'll watch them," he said without thinking. "We should learn what we can, every time we can." Madison gave him a small smile. "Thank you, Commander." Several others agreed, their voices quiet. No one really wanted to watch a friend or colleague die. The thought sent Alex's gut twisting with nerves. But they had an obligation to their crews and their nation to use every tool at their disposal. "I have one last announcement before the chaplain takes over," Madison said. "I received confirmation this morning that Commander Kurt Kins will be posthumously awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor." A hush ran through the crowd. No submariner had been awarded the Medal of Honor since World War II. Only 8 submariners had ever won the nation's highest award for military valor, and the last had been Commander George Street in 1945. Now Kurt Kins would be the 9th. Alex's eyes flicked over his fellow submarine commanders. Would any of them be next? Would the U.S. Navy figure out how to fight this new war of the submarine without losing boat after boat? Sooner or later, they had to find a way to take the war to the enemy without losing their best. Or was the next Medal of Honor winner doomed to be posthumous as well? To be continued in Fire When Ready. This has been The War No One Wanted, War of the Submarine, Book 2. Written by R.G. Roberts. Narrated by A.J. Shuck. Copyright 2023 by Robin Gale Roberts. Production copyright by Robin Gale Roberts.